Good morning. Well, it's morning here. I don't know where you are. I'm not that stalkery. I have no idea. It's morning here. It's a bright, sunshiny day in Texas, and I've had a lot of people ask me, how do you have so many clients that have, between 1 and 30 servers, and you manage to maintain them and keep track of them all so easily? And it's usually my clients asking me that. How can you maintain 30 servers? Well, I'm good at my job. Now, this post brought to you by my ancient iPhone. So there's that. The simple answer, one of the answers, there are several ways to do this. The simple one that I use with lots of different clients is using the SQL Server feature registered servers. And we're just going to jump right into this. Let me show you a couple of things here. Working off my local laptop, so there's no confidential information in here. Don't screenshot and try to Google stuff. It won't get you anywhere. The SQL Server Configuration Manager shows you all the services that are running that are SQL Server related, not everything, of course. As you can see here, I've got a 2016, 2017, and a 2019 instance all running on my laptop. I do a lot of heavy testing on this one, Stack Overflow databases, and I just make stuff up so I can break it or test it or whatever. I do all that locally. Sometimes I bounce out to an Azure VM, but a lot of it's here. And for something I was doing with replication, I had to have all the agents running as well. So my lovely laptop, as I've told you all before, has 8 CPUs, 32 gigs of RAM, and dual SSDs in it. It's 6 years old. I need a new laptop. Click on the videos more. Oh, wait, videos are free. So anyway, I've got 3 SQL Server instances here, all named instances because that's how I roll. No default. If I did have a default, it'd be 2014, but I just don't want to go that far back. So enough of that. Over here, if I want to query all of those at once, like say I've got a dozen customer servers and I want to look for all the alerts that have happened on any one of those servers, and I want to do it all at the same time, that's what this feature is designed for. Yes, I know central management servers are out there, but that's not something that I get to use a lot. This registered servers is basically free, and you can get to it from right here, View Registered Servers. It's been in the product for a long time. I think it's been in Management Studio since the 2005 days, maybe. So the way this works, instead of going to each server individually and running a query, you add, and I'll make it real simple here. I just add a new server registration, and because I've done it before, I can just pick these from the list, but you type it in, and for mine, I use the standard naming convention for a named instance. Machine name / instance name. Did you know instance names can't start with a number? And then you test it to see if it's actually going to connect. You don't have to do that. You can just save it. And then I'm going to go do another one. I'm going to go through all 3 of these just because that's what we want here. Registration, 2019, save. And these are all in one group. Great. What if I have dev and prod? New server group, group name, dev. I have a group. Let's just move, let's move the 2017 task, move to dev. So now I have different groups. I could move these into prod, but it's the same process with a different name. If I want to query just the dev instances, say you've got 12 boxes, just click on new query, and you notice it connected to 1 of 1 because there's 1 in the group. And I could do select edit server name here, but it's obviously going to come back with the thing in the dev box. But if I wanted to do all of them, I could do new query and check it out. Connected 3 of 3, because everything under local server groups here, including the dev, is going to return a response if it's online. If it's offline, it would be 2 of 3 if one of them was down or not responding or whatever. And if you right click and do new query against all your prods and they don't all come back, you already know you have a problem and you haven't even run a query yet. Select that server name, never type in a demo, I don't care. Boom. There we go. There's all 3 of my instances. It gives me this as part of the registered server thing, and this is the actual result of the query. You can do it, see that in another way. We'll highlight just that one, and you're going to get this unless you go into one of the tools options things for registered servers and take out give me the column name as well. You can dig around, and if you've never seen the tools options, there's 5 gazillion things in here. I'm not going to mess with that right now, but you can use this and you can see what all my different instances are. I run things at RTM because I might need to do a test patch to get to a particular client build, but If I wanted to break this up to just prod, I would go ahead and do the new group. I'll show you that, even though I said I wasn't going to. Move task, move to, this is a prod server, pretend, wink. Let's see, task, move to prod also, there. So now if I want to query just prod, and we do this every single day at our clients, but we have queries that we just open them up, and I guess that's probably a good thing to show you. If I just click on the prod and then I go to the file open here and pick, I don't know, which one do we want to pick? You'd think I'd have some of this ready to go. I'll just do this one, the most recent backups one. Run that against the 2 of 2 queries that it did, and here's the 2019s and the 2016s. It's kind of hard to tell what the break was. Yeah. So I could run this against 30 servers and then start looking for errors and omissions. This is the most recent backup. So if I see something like this in an actual client environment, May is not a good time to have backed up my database recently, but this particular query is just something that we've got in here in-house. Let's see if I can actually remember the syntax. Let's do this one over here for just prod. Kill that off. I practiced this, can you tell? Kill that off. Don't care. Do query. This is going to fail spectacularly. Plus I can't type. That's probably not going to work unless I change to MSDB. I'm guessing at the syntax here. Maybe doesn't need this. I don't know, that's probably wrong. Hey, it worked. This is telling me all the alerts that exist, not the ones that have fired recently. If I edited this, it'd be a little bit. So here's 2019, 2016. These are not sorted by anything in particular other than whichever instance responded first works on down the list. So if you run one of these against 30 servers and it's taken forever, let's say you're querying the error logs for certain things. If one of them is taking forever, it's because it's having to read through a really big error log, more than likely. It's got a lot of rows in it. Maybe that hadn't been reinitialized in a long time or server's been up forever. You can tell how many rows were affected when you go into messages. Each one of them reports back, okay, I found this many things on whatever work it did. It's essentially the row count, but in a different format. One other really cool thing, if you're on a team and you're the guy that goes, you're the person that goes through and puts all 150 servers in your registered server list, and everybody else is like, that's so cool, I want to do that too. Here's how you help your buddies out and you become a little bit of a hero. Right click on your top level group and export. Give it a location. I'll put on my D drive because I want to. Call it that. And I think that works without the file extension. Yes. And risky stuff here. Let me go to my D drive. I'm doing it off screen because I don't really want you guys seeing everything I've got here. All right, that'll work. It does a reg server file for you. So there's nothing on here you can't see, I don't think. Nope. So this is what I just put out. Email that to everybody on the team, put it on a share or whatever. And then if it's on a share, it's even better because when somebody adds a new server in, they can just replace that file. Everybody can go get it. But it's just an XML file if I remember correctly. But you can also then take that and import from the same way. Just import, browse out to where it is, and hit OK. So you can share these things, and not everybody doesn't have to go through and manually do in every single server. Now, if you're doing one new server registration and you're using SQL authentication or some other method, leave this stuff blank because they are going to have to fill that in. And if you're going to get real frisky and hack the XML file to fill that stuff in, knock yourself out. But these are the basics. You can separate these things by any which way you want. It could be divisions, it could be versions, it could be anything. But that select add at server name, I used to run that every single day, first thing in the morning when I worked at a place that had 130 different servers that were all publishing through replication and republishing and ran the entire reporting services bit, the whole reporting apparatus for a Fortune 50 company. Huge company in the Dallas area. I was only there for 3 months, But that was the first thing I did was if they didn't all report back, boom, I've got a server down and I got to do some troubleshooting, or the service is off or whatever. And then I would also look at the replication monitor to see that everything was current and not reporting any errors because we had it set up that way. Huge time saver. You're basically querying X number of servers and the amount of time it takes you to query one, as long as they respond quickly. Hope this helped. Ask any questions in the comments and have yourself a lovely day.